Good morning. I'm a broken man. I'm not, I'm a tired man. So last video, last night for me, I got back at 2 o'clock-ish. We did the night shift with Mitch where we had the absolute disaster with the lid for the fuse board. So if you haven't seen it, we did a night shift in a factory changing the three-phase board over. It was fabulous. I had to call you mate then. Mate, it was fabulous. Loved it. Everything was going swimmingly, and I really enjoyed myself as well. It come to the end, and I butted initially the main panel board and the base of the fuse box board, the three-phase one next to it, not knowing you need to leave a minimum an inch to the left to allow the lid to open. So Mitch is ringing up fuse box today to see if we can get a door to switch over that opens the other way because there's space. But we ended up having to doctor the door, turn the door upside down, re-drill the hinges to put on, to make it safe to use for today for the factory, because at 2 o'clock in the morning, believe it or not, I couldn't have gone anywhere to go and get three-phase board. But then I got a phone call yesterday, because I was meant to have today off. I now have 3 call-outs to do. But yesterday, I got a phone call from a guy who I'm doing a rewire with for next week for 2 weeks by myself. Lovely 4-bedroom, big house. They've just moved in. There's barely any stuff in there. If there is, it's just boxes within the rooms. The only big things that are in the way, it's just the beds that can be moved around, so that's fine, because I don't normally do occupied rewires. It's about 30 minutes away from me. It's over Stoke way, so it's travelling, everything. Doesn't matter. What I was getting at is the fuse board trip yesterday, the RCD main switch. It's a Hager one. I will put a picture on the screen now, because I took a picture when I went to quote. It's a rotation one. That keeps tripping, no matter what they do, unplugging everything, disconnecting stuff, turning off isolators, turning off every circuit. Once you turn the RCD back on, any circuit trips it. So I've got to go and do a call out to that. They wanted to wait for me because they don't know anyone else around the area, and I'm already working there, so it makes sense. But so I'm coming in today. I nearly got home at 2 and my daughter woke me up at 6:30. So I no longer have a door, so that's a shame. I was in the unit the other day. I never got a chance to film anything, just been too busy. I've retidied, rejigged absolutely everything. Monster sent me through a fridge for all the sugar-free Monster, which is absolutely sick. I haven't had the chance to show it off yet, but the whole plan was tidy all this as and when I need the stuff for the rewire and all the tools and everything. It's easy accessible. So I've got a bucket full of old RCBOs, MCBs, everything around there. I'm going to pull a few out, see if I can find anything that will match. I have to leave that house today with power on. They've almost been 24 hours without power, so let's see what we can do. I don't know if I'd have anything that old. I know this is square D, but this is the similar thing that they've got. It's a rotational one. I've got 2 of them in case. Worst case scenario, what I'll do is below the board, depending if it's the RCBO that's broken, RCD, sorry, I will put a module below, put an RCD up front, and then link through what essentially is the RCD there to a main switch, or get rid of it altogether, or bridge it. I need to do something. So we also have a main switch. Do you want to see my box of goodies? I've gone well over the top, but we're going to start, well, to be fair, we'll start off with this. So these are the tails we ripped out last night. These are 125mm, 120mm tails from the board. At some point, they're going to be stripped down with Mitch through the cable stripper, just over there, and we're going to smelt some stuff. We can make his own ingots, but I don't think he'll notice if I chop like a good 1.5 foot off each and re-put the tape back on. He'll never know. So over the top, we've got a variety of mix match old breakers, isolators, you name it, we've put it in there. I've put an old Hager board that I've got, RCBOs, new ones, fuse box board, tails, the temporary fuse board and everything that we use for rewires, which I'm going to leave there anyway. But I'm taking all of this just in case. Worst case scenario, I can stick this on, extend some cables up to the essential circuits that we need to use and run. So I'd rather take all this and bring it back. Right, I'm here, and I'm so tired. This is the gorgeous property we're at. So I might run you around through all this because we will get to that next week. Lots and lots of videos. But this is where we're at with the board. I'm just going to have to shut the garage because it is there. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God it's labelled up. That's good. So, okay. Yep. Also, just a quick one. Armeg have sent me, because of the rewire, their wood beavers. So we've got some 32, some 25, and some 20mm bits here for all our joist runs, all that sort of stuff. So the wood beavers are designed that when you go through joist, if you to hit a screw or a nail or anything like that, it literally just eats through it. So I'm looking forward to trying them out. So Armick, thank you very much. And if they work well, guys, I will tell you muchly to go and buy some. First thing I've just noticed, which I didn't notice before because there was loads of stuff in the way, it is TT. I did not know that. And someone's put a bulkhead in the way. I'll tell you what, I'm going to remove that because that's going to annoy me straight away. I've got 3 different boards. That's our main board. This is the original ISO. This is a, oh God, I've been told before. It's an old form-ish of an RCD. It's like a volt. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Not today. Not today, Nick. Tired boy. God, could you imagine? I disconnect this now and it just turns back on. Yummy. For the protein. What happens? On. On. Off. On. Okay. Off. Beforehand, as of yesterday, any breaker you turn on, it tripped. So first things first, I'm just going to do a ramp test on that. Equally, I've got an isolator. I'm going to get rid of this as well because that looks like trouble to me. How is... Yeah, it's the magnets off this. Right. That was weird. Well, I can categorically say all of the spare parts that I brought, thinking it could be the RCD, was wrong. For the age of it, it's in really, really good nick. One thing I don't like is the tails, 6 or maybe, yeah, probably 6mm tails, maybe 10, that feed this, that come out the top, which should not affect the RCD, theoretically, because they're on the feed side. I've got 2 breakers that stayed on. I'm just going to do, I want to see what the earth's saying. I want to see what reading we've got with the spike. So as a TT system, 22.6, that's really good. It's really good. Normally you're 100, 200 plus. Right. Also, to let everyone know, and I hate to shout and call companies out. Currently looking for my socket tester that I've thrown in the van somewhere. So, as of beginning of this year, literally the beginning of this year, this right-hand slider, hinge, drawer, whatever, went. So I messaged Van Volt, heard nothing back, and then recently the other one has just gone. Brilliant. So the one time I want to show you how bad it is, it seems to glide, but there's nothing in there, it's physically ripping the hinges apart and I can't yank it. And then sometimes, like now, it doesn't shut. Van Volt have ignored every message and whatever, and hopefully I can just change the sliders, the runners in it, rather than the whole thing, because if that comes out, everything comes out. So, oh Jesus, look at that fluctuating, 200, 150, 200, 150. But what got me a minute ago is the wall units have been taken off. And depending where that runs, but yeah, it's exactly the same. You see the cables up there. That one is just linked from that one, which is a spur. You've got the ring that goes up, which I presume then goes down to that one. But this whole wall, as in a couple of weeks, is coming out. So Very well could be that, very well couldn't. But because we're getting such a weird jumping around voltage, quick voltage check. 1 volt, yep. Neutral, earth. So we're sitting at 240, neutral jumping around a bit. Right, we've got to sit in. This is what's going to be the dressing room next to the garage. 230, sitting stable. We've got the 2 correct lights on, and it's the same in the garage. I presume that's off the same circuit, but there's 2 off that circuit, so it makes sense. It's the garage and that room in there. So this one is what essentially, for some reason, compared to everything else, seems to be the only one that is okay. So you get a tick. But this one goes on, but that was the kitchen sockets, which no longer want to play ball. So I'm going to disconnect that. And lo and behold, issue is as well, we've just got stuff like this hanging everywhere, stuff taped. So what I've ended up doing, we're on 250 because of the light bulbs. We're doing an IR, insulation resistance test. I've took all the neutrals out. I'm going one by one between the earth bar and each individual circuit to figure out what's what. To me, there's 2 glaring, I would say, things. One is that kitchen wall, which I really don't like the look of, and 2 is potentially the amount of rain we've had. It could be an outside light, but we will soon find out. So that is absolutely fine on that new circuit that shoots up and does whatever it does. This is the new shower that's been running in the downstairs ensuite. Absolutely fine. So that doesn't look very promising. That's not. So I went with my gut, went for a walk around outside. I put a picture up now. I found 4 of these flexes taped up, hanging out, upside down. And the tape got water in it. But the other thing with my gut is this. We went up, got the SDS out, and they have missed it. We thought, fair, right, okay. And then saw the light switch, and they have missed it there. I missed it there as well, but because this wall's coming down, the customer didn't mind me taking some plaster off. So now I've undone the tape. I'm gonna go around, do some IRs again, but it's just one of them faults. But you, as electricians watching this, you'll know it's just not glaringly obvious. It's that circuit. It almost jumps across circuits for some bizarre reason. So the plot thickens. Get a load of this. Right. I've thought, wow, there's 2 new circuits. We'll put the shower in, and we'll put the new colours in that disappear up here across to there. I thought, all right, cool, okay. I thought I'll start with the lighting circuit then. And as I was touching the neutral, because I left this on, I saw a spark. I thought, well, that's not right. What's going on here? So we're on the earth, everything is off. No voltage. If I turn the shower on, watch this. 125 volts through the neutral. The shower is not on, as in pulling anything currently, which is weird. And then if I go across to the live terminal on the next breaker, 122 volts. No voltage, no voltage, no voltage, no voltage. When we get to this last one, we then have voltage again. So between on that one and this one and this one, there's some form of fault where the live is somehow, I would say, connected to the neutral to bring power, and then because it's that one, because that neutral there is still connected into the bar, that's why this one's giving this power, and then the neutral for the new circuit is giving that one power. So I'm just going to disconnect everything else, but we're then going to do some investigation in the shower circuit, because with everything else disconnected, then that should be the route of the back feed through the neutral onto the neutral bar, which will then chuck this out consistently. I started putting stuff back in the board, I've disconnected all of that mess, rejigged this. I ended up realising that the neutral and live that were from this were stuck in the main tails in the top of that, which was then linked straight off of that. So they were never covered by any form of protection upstream. Started putting in one by one to figure out what circuit does which is which earth, which is which neutral. And then I got to what essentially was this circuit, which was fine. The two neutrals, I thought, I'll just test if it's a ring. So I put it on. As I'm going through, these were on. I say, yep, perfect, that doesn't trip. As I do this, literally, those two neutrals are not connected to anything, and the live here is not turned on. 160 volts between the two neutrals there. The live is not on. The earths are in. So we've come to the stage now where, as any customer of any electrician does not want to hear, I am running out of ideas. So far, every trick in the book, to my knowledge, that I have learned over 14 years of being a Spark, I've done. And I've got nowhere. This board is turned off. I have checked the tails, they've run into this board. This little board has got no RCD on it. Fine, cool, I can turn it on and try it and see what's going on. So currently, with the earth from it, which is from here, is now slung down onto the earth terminal, so it's completely away from that board, other than disconnecting the earth going into that, which I've just thought of, so might try that. With this turned off here, we have 83 volts, both the sockets are off, and on here, obviously it says what it says, I can't see. And then the moment I turn this on, it goes to 241. 244. Okay, cool. But I'm getting a voltage when it's off, obviously down the earth or the neutral. So I'm now going to disconnect it from this board completely to see if we now have a problem with our earthing arrangement or tails or supply in. That's the TT. There's another old spike outside that's still connected, so that's all rubbish. I ripped all that out, I ripped that out, I ripped all that out. I didn't need going, so my life would be a bit easier when we come to rewire the place, but as of this now, the only thing I can look at, the fact that we've still got voltage on stuff like this, is maybe a supply issue. I fixed it. I have fixed it, but you're not gonna like it. So you mix with tiredness, frustration, and just all round, ugh, right. Intuition, when I turned up, you're not gonna like this bit, just bear with me a second, I'm gonna explain. Obviously outside lights and whatnot, and I said I'm going to change that anyway, and that was inducing a current for somehow back to the neutral, which is imbalancing everything. This is the bit you're not going to like. I got so faffed off and annoyed where I thought, right, I'll bang this in, I want to just see if it works to get rid of the voltage. The moment I plugged that in, the voltage disappeared off all the circuits, off the earth and the neutral, to what it should be. This is all back on, all working. Obviously, there's nothing in these. I'm just gonna now rejig everything back to the way it should be, being safe, but it was that. So if you ever get a weird readings and stuff and you cannot figure it out, get rid of this. It is horrible, I do not like it. It is very old, it's going very far in the skip. I'll show you smashing it to pieces. But yeah, so I'm gonna isolate this all again, redo this, put it in an enclosure, fix it all. You know what I'm going to do next time when I come to fault find? If there's one of these in there, I'm going to hit it with a hammer first and change it. I'll probably just change it, probably won't hit with a hammer. It didn't go as planned. I'll pick all these bits up now. ISO on, board on. Now let's go and do my two other call outs. Wow, this happened to me on a Friday. I've got to go and change an outside light. I've got to go and change the dimmer switch. And then another one, I forgot the downlight that I put in that library cupboard, which you would have seen in the video a while ago. It comes on for 10 minutes and it's too long, so they've asked me if I can just turn it down. I was like, yeah, no worries. Because it is the next road over, but it is what it is. Anyway, hopefully you guys have learned something when it comes to fault finding. I'm not the person to learn off, I'm just saying, if you were... So what it was across the top. So on the bottom, live and neutral, I was getting nothing on the neutral. But on the load side, on the neutral, I was getting voltage. That's what made me go,
just rip it off and put an isolator in. So, right, like and subscribe, guys. Love you, bye. Have a good weekend.